Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. This is what the 2022 quarter could look like. Let's explore. Now you're looking at a blank canvas here, so to speak. And I'm referencing what the United States Mint has just released through the Citizen Coinage Advisory Committee, and that is proposed designs for the new 2022 quarters. And these quarters are a new series that will run from 2022 to 2025, and they honor American women who have passed away, but have provided great influence onto the nation. And we're going to see a Sally Ride quarter, for instance, as one of the ladies that will be honored for as many as 5 per year. And in 2022, they're not only going to be changing the reverse side of the quarters, but they're also going to be changing the obverse side of the quarters. Now, as many of you are aware, and I've covered on this channel, the quarter is reverting for the rest of this year to this design, the Washington portrait that we're used to seeing in the quarter from up until 1998. And that portrait has kind of evolved a bit since it was first created in 1932. And here we can see slight differences in the hair. In fact, we can see here that later on, the hair became a bit more spaghetti-like. In 1998 was the last year that had occurred in that regard. And then the spaghetti-like hair kind of continued through with the statehood quarters. And these statehood quarters, here's the Texas, the portrait has sort of evolved in that regard as well too, a bit smaller with more words around the portrait of Washington. So it's a very much a recognized and familiar portrait. It has been the case since 1932 when it was first issued. Now, Son of a Silver Stacker and Silver Wolverine have already posted videos talking about the proposed designs for these quarters. But I want to focus more on the obverse and what the quarter could look like in 2022. Because when I saw the images, it really excited me about one particular design that they were offering to replace for the quarter dollar. And that design could essentially ride into perpetuity through all of these series. It just depends on how the legislation works out, because there's several different quarter programs that are coming in the following years. In 2026, we'll see a new series of quarters remembering the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. There's a name for it. It's not, I think it's subsequentennial or something like that. But regardless, the quarter design that will be proposed for 2022, one of the designs, the very first one, is the only one that's either a rendering or a plaster, and that is this design here. And you can see it here. It is in gold. That's right, gold. This could be the quarter for 2022. And so can you imagine this design? This is a relatively high relief design, as you can see here on this $5 gold coin. And this is special because this was one of the choices that could have been on the quarter in 1932. This was designed by Laura Garden Fraser. And that name may sound familiar. She was born in 1899 and died in 1966. It's considered one of America's most leading sculptors, both for her creation of heroic, classical, monumental pieces, and as an accomplished medalist. As a distinguished artist, Laura Fraser was in constant demand. She was the wife of sculptor James Earl Fraser, who you may remember designed the Buffalo nickel. As a medalist, she received numerous major commissions, including the design of the Congressional Medal honoring Charles Lindbergh and the Grant Memorial half dollar and gold dollar commemoratives. In 1931, she was one of 5 artists selected by special invitation to compete to design a coin commemorating the birth of George Washington. Her extraordinary design was unanimously voted the winner by the Fine Arts Commission. However, then Treasury Secretary Andrew Mellon had a differing opinion and override the judge's decision, awarding the commission to John Flanagan, whose design still appears on the $quarter. So there you go. So the Treasury Secretary is the ultimate arbiter and decision maker. He's the decider on these things. And so no matter what the CCAC offers or what the Commission of Fine Arts offers, it's really up to him. That's why her design was not chosen to be on the $quarter, or else this would have been the design. And I think it is probably an even greater accurate representation of George Washington. He looks a little bit teed off, as Silver Wolverine said in his video, but in reality, he barely smiled because he was in a lot of pain. The dentures that he had made his mouth protrude because they were very bulky in the mouth. And so that's why it looks like that he's got kind of a protruding jaw and in that manner. So to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's death, her design was chosen for this $5 commemorative. And it is outstanding, and it's designed to appreciate the full glory in gold. And here is the reverse, and I think this is one of the best views of a heraldic eagle that I've seen on any coin offered by the United States. I love this design, and this is probably one of my favorite commemorative gold coins that are out there. But I think this is what the quarter should look like, in my view, both sides. I think they complement each other as well. But nonetheless, this design very well could be chosen. It's one of those that have been submitted. My guess is it probably will not. Apparently they had a phone call to talk about this, or will have a phone call to talk about this, between the commission, and who knows what they will recommend. My guess is this probably won't be on the quarter, but it could be. And I think it should be. So there it is, what the quarter will look like for the rest of 2021, this design, and what it will look like potentially in 2022, this design. There you go. Fascinating indeed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which one do you like better? This design or that design? And have you seen what the Mint has proposed? I encourage you to check out Son of a Silver Stacker's channel, a video about this, and Silver Wolverine's video about this. Silver Wolverine really concentrated on the Washington portrait. There was a lot of good designs that I liked on that have been submitted for George Washington on that too. I'd be happy with almost all of them. There are several of them that I didn't like, but I'd be happy with most any of them there. But there you go. George Washington on the quarter. From here on out, it's exciting to see new changes like this in our coinage. And we'll be honoring women through 2025, and in 2026, there will be honoring the subsequentennial, or the 250th anniversary of the birth of this nation. And then in 2027 through 2030, I believe, it will be kids' sports that will be honored on the quarters. So there's going to be 3 series of quarters in the coming years through the end of this decade. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video. Let me know your thoughts about this design. And I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude, as I said before, and I'll say it one more time. Why not? Because I really do appreciate you all being here. A multitude of gratitude, and encourage you to please rate share, comment, and subscribe.